I love your home already, and I haven't even seen it. Does that sound crazy? It's not. When we improve our surroundings, we simultaneously empower ourselves, which means every inch of space within your reach right now is an opportunity to tell the story you want to be living. Tell me that's not its own kind of wonderful. I have spent the last 15 years consulting clients and their homes through the wisdom of Feng Shui, intentional design, and some crystal clear communication. And you know what happens when you bring those three together? Life-changing magic. Your home is already in a conversation with you, so why not learn how to merge that awareness with some simple, straightforward, and smart action to co-create the life you want? I'm Amanda Gibby Peters, and I am here to help you learn how. Welcome to House Therapy. A client of mine a few years ago emailed me this note. I got my report and I've read it a million times and just feel in love with all the ideas. I swear we're getting good news every day now. We're wondering, is there anything we can or should do to show gratitude to keep up the positive energy? It was and still is such a fabulous question. Our home is a living, breathing member of our family, and like most of our relationships, a simple way to make our loved ones feel good is to lather them with our attention and gratitude. So I want you to try this. How do you prefer to be acknowledged and appreciated? That is your first clue where to start with your home. And for a little more guidance, I dipped into the 5 languages of love, for those of you who are familiar with it, to inspire today's conversation. So if you're someone who prefers quality time, a couple ideas for you. 1, acknowledge something fabulous in your life daily. Say it out loud. Celebrate it. These daily toasts add up and leave a room feeling good, which means you leave the space feeling good. And when we celebrate something, whether it's a work promotion, a compliment, the success of turning over a new leaf, it communicates what we want to see more of in our lives. Your home becomes the container for that energy. You might also nurture you by dedicating a space for quiet. And you don't have to have the real estate in your home to make this happen. You could simply wake up earlier to make this quote unquote space possible. Leave technology out of your bedroom. Whenever I suggest this, I want you to think, instead of like, oh my gosh, it's my alarm, I need to know what's going on, that you are creating both energetic preservation with this one choice and honoring a personal boundary. You might also appeal to all 5 senses as a stylistic guide for each room. This really ensures that your creative self will flourish at home. A couple episodes back, we talked about this, so remember, not complicated. A glass of water or a hot cuppa, a candle with a little bit of a scent, some fresh flowers or a bright color nearby, maybe something soft, a blanket or a wrap. And then the sound of music, or maybe a window open so you can hear the wind or the birds outside. Really simple, but man, this has mileage. My last suggestion for quality time love languagers, bless your home. And if you have no idea how to do this, I've got some good news. You can check the show notes and there's a blog post waiting with instructions. All right, so if you're more of a gifts please love language person, give every room one wow factor. So what you're doing here is you're really animating the space and lifting its confidence almost immediately. Another suggestion, reinvent a room and yourself by adding something new to it. So you could change the lampshades, you could bring a pair of dramatic candlesticks to the table, You could even hang something with neon colors in it. But remember, what you're doing here is changing how you see things. And when what you see changes, what you see out in the world changes too. Another one of my favorites for the gifts love languagers, splurge on a signature scent for your home. So do you have a candle you love, some incense, a house spray, and then start or welcome every day using it. Another suggestion, keep passion on display in your home, and anything you absolutely love works here. So really what we're getting at is a home that's showcasing your personality is going to give off that one-of-a-kind, stand-out energy. And finally, invest in quality. The reason why I love quality and why I think it is the ultimate gift is because 1, there's less impulse buying. 2, when you choose and sometimes splurge on items intentionally designed and made for endurance, that's the gift that keeps on giving. And finally, the other sort of gift embedded here is you compile a room and eventually your home on a simmer instead of a hustle. And I promise you, those are the homes that generate the most conversation and the most questions. All right, if your love language is physical touch, move 27 things around. You know this, it's an expedient way to shake things up. Try doing this quarterly, and I guarantee you're going to move around and step into some of those spaces that tend to be a little overlooked. Turn the lights on, including the outdoor ones regularly. And if you have space outside, maybe consider hanging some twinkly lights. Organize your pantry. Oh my gosh, twice a year around here, everything comes out. Wipe everything down so it feels minty fresh. And then put everything back. And I promise you that delight lasts for weeks. Another really great way to appeal to physical touch, if that's your love language, keep your working space beautiful. And you do this by bringing in whatever motivates you. So it could be a stack of Post-its if you're someone who likes to take notes. It can be investing in fresh flowers on the desk once a week or once a month. Maybe you have a heavy crystal somewhere that you can bring in that will both function as a paperweight, but also something beautiful to delight the eye. Maybe splurge on a blanket that you keep on your chair, or have a bowl of bright fruit nearby that almost insists during the day that you pick it up because of the shine, the texture, the weight of it. Keep a comfy rug underfoot, or invest in plush seating. Whatever it is that says beauty to you, it will really appeal to your love language if it's physical touch. All right, if you prefer acts of service, plant an herb garden or dedicate one of your windowsills to a few pots of whatever you like to cook with the most if you cook. Not only is this good for the environment, but every herb integrates its own magic in and around your home. And I have done a ton of blog posts on this, so head over to simpleshui.com, type in herbs, or even type in basil. That will always get you there because it's one I always talk about. And prepare to be wowed. Keep a signature gift, something you love, near the front door. So this could be those gold wrapped chocolate candies. It could be maybe even a deck of oracle cards that have sayings on them that you keep in a bowl, or perhaps a pile of books you've read and love that you're happy to pass on. That one's kind of pulling from last week's episode. You just never know when you might have a guest who could use a little surprise. And something I learned in the happiness class that was taught, or that's taught at Yale, the experience of thoughtfulness, both for you and the recipient, is an energy that lingers for quite a long while. All right, don't settle for clutter in your home. Otherwise, it's going to absorb the good energy you're busy trying to create, And that kind of energy that you're creating is also what's going to keep you moving in new and positive directions. All right, this last one is one of my favorites. So at the end of cold season, I like to grab a few $10 or $20 bills and place them in coat pockets right now. So two things happening here. You're planting a little wealth around the house, but that unexpected feeling of a lucky find when cold season rolls back in, oh my gosh, it's crazy contagious. All right, so we're going to wrap today's suggestions with my love language, which is words of affirmation. So one of the things I teach my students and clients is to write a letter to your home, describing what you love about it, really getting into all of the things that you appreciate about this space. I also recommend that in this letter, you make a few commitments to its improvement. So something that you've been putting off, something that you'd like to undertake, or something that you're willing to change because you know it'll make your space feel better. So when you write this letter, you can fold it up and put it in a journal, or you can put it in a space that's sort of like, important documents for the house. And I recommend a couple times a year going back and reading that letter. If this ritual speaks to you, it's something I recommend doing once a year. All right, another thing you can do is inscribe your favorite quote or lyric or saying on cardstock and then frame or hang it somewhere you see it every day. So I've shared this before on the blog, but when we first moved into our home and I didn't have a lot of money to splurge on art, I went and bought poster board and a gold Sharpie, and I wrote my favorite song lyrics out on these poster boards, and I think I had 4 of them. I went to IKEA, bought some frames, and I framed it, and it was such a lovely personal touch, and the song lyrics were those words of affirmation that were filling our house. Another thing you can do is be unexpected in your stylistic expression. Let your home match your voice and say something about you that people might not know, but hey, they got to be VIPs. They got to be invited in your home to know this about you. And then my last suggestion, and it's probably the hardest one out of all of these, but it's so worth doing, and you don't have to endeavor to do this in one sitting. So enjoy coming back to this. Write down 100 things you love about your home. I suggest doing maybe 5 a day, and you can really get through this within a month. It's a really great way to start cultivating that appreciation and awareness for what's already within reach and what fuels and soothes and supports you in your home. Because remember, your home is a partner. It wants to help you. It wants to collaborate with you. It wants to see you accomplish all the things that you have in mind for your journey here. And just like that, it's another episode wrap. A million thanks for being here and listening today. And if you're not quite ready for this conversation to end, come find me on the gram. I'm at Amanda Gibby Peters, or grab a copy of my book, Simple Shui for Every Day, available at Amazon and Bookshop and anywhere you get your books. And if you want to work with me, check out simpleshui.com for all the ways we can make that happen. Cheers to a marvelous week, sweets, and I hope to see you back here in a week. Until then, give that house of yours some big love for me.